It's been a while since we've seen a football game. And yes, the misspelling of quarterback is in the game's title. Obviously, I didn't have much hope for this one since it's a sports game, but the title screen said a magic word, Natsume. I mean, just look, they're throwing in parallax scrolling during the introduction. Even if this is being published by Pony Canyon, we're at least going to get some basic level of competence. You have your choice of 4 teams that might not be as legally distinct from the original NFL as you might think. Doesn't help to change the name if you keep the logo, guys. There's a small tournament format here, where you're basically progressing through an elimination tournament, taking on a more challenging team each time. You can choose to play with 5, 10, or 15-minute quarters, and the times there are accurate. That's how much on-field time you're going to be playing. I was playing 10-minute quarters, and it took me 50 minutes to play a half. One strange aspect of quarterback Scramble is that your team has stats, and you have an entire roster of players that you can swap in. I just went with the default team because I didn't know who was who. You choose the type of play by pressing in a direction with the D-pad, then press B. If you're selecting an offensive play, then you're given a few patterns that you could run, while for defensive plays, you're given a choice of positioning. If you're on the 4th down and you're on offense, then at least one of your plays will be replaced with a kick. There's actually some variation in what plays are available at any given time, so I think it works out to be about 25 offensive plays available and 16 defensive options. On the field, you hit the A button to start the play, and the way that they handled not really being able to show 2 full football teams on the field simultaneously is that they made the players tiny and the field huge, so you can really only see a handful of players at a time. Players tend to bounce off each other like they're ping pong balls. They can push each other around, but not have much more effect than that, unless of course you have the ball, in which case contact generally means a tackle. One thing to be careful about with the plays is that if you don't follow the path correctly, you're likely to bump into your own teammates. To throw the ball, you hit B, and that pauses the game. Then you hit B a few times to cycle through possible receivers. When you've made your decision, hit the A button to pass. Unless you've chosen the quarterback, in which case the game just continues. Who you can pass to is restricted by the play, so you'll want to keep that in mind. Punting and kicking are totally automatic. You'll either make it or you won't. The player that you're controlling is flashing, and on offense it's always whoever has the ball, but on defense it can switch around quite a bit. You don't get to pick who you're controlling, it just changes automatically. My biggest problem with quarterback Scramble is that the view is not great. Because of how the screen centers itself, you often can't see defensive players until they're right on top of you. You might throw the ball to someone who looked like they were wide open with nobody nearby, only for the ball to get there and the receiver's been shoved out of the way. There's a second mode to quarterback Scramble, and it's called Watch Mode. And unlike watch modes in other sports games, this isn't just about watching the CPU play against itself. It's really Coach Mode. You set up the team, you call the plays, but you don't control the on-field action. And Coach Mode brings me to my other major problem with quarterback Scramble. The AI really isn't that good. It seems like the later teams deal with this by buffing up their stats, but I was just picking plays at random and I was holding my own. When it comes to playing against the computer, it feels like it's not going to put up much of a fight. I'm kind of surprised that quarterback Scramble was never released in the US. It's not fantastic, but it's well put together. I suspect that if quarterback Scramble was more well known, that it would be remembered as one of the better 8-bit sports games. As it is, the game was trapped in Japan, where nobody really cared about American football, and so it's just another forgotten Famicom game.